Evening, everybody. It's Friday. It is, let's try and see, it is 10 to 9. And I've just got in from watching D'Artagnan, the Three Musketeers movie. So just thought I'd do a really quick review. So, obviously, if you didn't know, this movie is a French movie. So before we go anywhere, if you are not into foreign films, which is a little bit unfortunate, you know, some of the best ones are foreign. However, if you're not into foreign films, just be aware this is in French, okay? So you will be reading the subtitles. Okay, so, secondly, who's in it? Well, you have to pardon my ignorance because I'm obviously not really up to date with, you know, the state of French cinema and French TV at the moment. So to be fair, when I walked into this movie, there was only two people who I'd heard of. And that was Vincent Cassel and Eva Green. So apologies that I have no idea about the rest of the stars and the cast, but we'll go through it and I'll probably just refer to them by character. So D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers, or as I keep saying, D'Artagnan and the Three Muskehounds, because I'm of that age where I used to watch that cartoon. But if you know that, or if you've read the book, or you've seen the BBC adaptation, you probably know roughly what this story is. So you've got D'Artagnan, a young guy from Gascony. Apologies if I actually murder any of the French pronunciations, by the way. But anyway, he comes from Gascony and he wants to join the King's Musketeers. So you probably know the story, goes to Paris, ends up in a row with three different people, has a, you know, books a duel at three different times. Turns out they're the Three Musketeers. Hurrah! Something happens. They all end up knowing each other and yada, yada, yada. Okay, so I won't say too much because obviously you might want to enjoy the film. But yeah, so the storyline, if you know the cartoon or any of the adaptations, you probably know most of the storyline. So it's not going to be a big surprise. So what is quite nice is the production, okay? So as a French film, this is actually the first of two movies. So the second one, I have been reliably informed, is going to be out in December. So just be aware you're not walking into a complete story. All right, so there will be a to be continued part of it. But this one, yeah, really lavish. If you're into design, the costumes and the set are just so spectacular. They're unbelievable. For a budget of supposedly 72 million, I think, between the two movies, it looks amazing. Okay. Yeah, everything about it. And I suppose that's the thing, because it's supposed to be this lush, lavish lifestyle of like royalty in France, and you even get to see, you know, nobility in England. So yeah, everything is garish and over the top, but it looks amazing on screen. So yeah, I'm just trying to think of what I think the only gripe again, that I could say is, so for a Musketeers film, obviously you'll be expecting a lot of sword play and things like that, which you do get. There's a couple of nice set pieces, but shaky cam. Think Jason Bourne, the original movie, okay? Everything's all over the place, you know. NYPD Blue, if you're of that age and you can remember that TV series where the camera's constantly moving. It's a little bit unsettling. If you're an action fan and you're used to now sometimes the style of action where the camera stays on the person so you can see everything, not quite in this one, unfortunately. Yeah, so when you get to the action scenes, if you get motion sickness, you may want to look away. From what I could see, they look good, but yeah, it was a slightly off-putting. There's a couple of times when they use way too much shaky cam. So stars, obviously you've got D'Artagnan. Unfortunately, I don't know the guy. Listen, in the comments, if you're way up with these things, put down in the comments below who they are, because the guy who played D'Artagnan, good actor, suitably sort of innocent yet cocky at the same time, which is how I imagine him to be. He plays it really well, so that was really good. You've got your Three Musketeers, so you've got your Athos, your Aramis, and your Porthos. Again, sorry to whoever plays Aramis and Porthos, they were great. Okay, so your lover and your, you know, big beast burly guy, but Athos was played by the very wonderful, the very lovely, I may be slightly biased, wonderful Vincent Cassel. I could just watch him, which sounds really creepy, but yeah, I've loved him since I first saw La Haine way back in '96. I just think he's marvellous. I don't think I get to see enough of him in this, to be fair. In fact, you don't really get to see the Three Musketeers that much because this movie is D'Artagnan. Yeah, D'Artagnan Part 1. Or should I say Part 1 D'Artagnan, because the next movie is about somebody else I'll tell you in a second. Anyway, but yeah, for the Three Musketeers, you'd expect them to be on screen quite a lot. Don't expect them to be there. They're there for the parts that you need them for, but this is definitely D'Artagnan's movie, okay? It's all about him, focuses on what he does, his moving to Paris, how he gets into, you know, the Musketeers, yada, yada, yada. So yeah, so for a film that you might be expecting to see all of them, you know, a big bromance between them, you don't really get as much on the screen time as you probably expect. Like I said, because this is really about him. The second movie is about the other fantastic actor that I do know the name of, and that is obviously the character of Milady. So the second film would be focused on her story, played by the actually devastatingly beautiful Eva Green. I didn't realise just how much I quite like her. I always thought she was one of the better Bond girls. There's just something about her. She's very sultry, but kind of mysterious. And that really worked with, obviously, the character of Milady. She is a femme fatale to end all femme fatales. And she also gets some fantastic costumes as well. So, yeah, she looks great. She acts great. She's definitely destined for this role. She was fantastic. Yeah, so which does a disservice to the others. I'm really sorry, but yeah, Vincent Cassel and Eva Green, the only two actors that I really know, but they just happen to be fantastic actors. So yeah, I would happily watch them on screen. Just doing anything really. Anything else? It run time's about two hours, so a couple of bits feel a little bit rushed. Because, you know, they're trying to all fit in a certain amount of the story into this movie. So, you know, the fact that D'Artagnan starts off as an enemy of the Three Musketeers because they all book a duel with him, and suddenly he's their busy mate and they're all hanging out. And then suddenly they're doing something that I won't reveal because it spoils the story. Yeah, so sometimes you do feel a bit like, what just happened there? It all happened really quickly, but I suppose this is maybe aimed at those who are kind of familiar with the story anyway, so you kind of know, well, that probably happened when the camera wasn't on. So, yeah, don't go in expecting to see every single detail because it won't be there. But, you know, if you just sit back and enjoy it, it is a rather enjoyable movie. Like I said, very beautiful on screen, looks fantastic. Like the actors, although I don't know all of their names, so I do apologise, everyone was really good in their role. Cardinal Richelieu was suitably evil. If he had a moustache, he'd be twirling it. Louis was really good. King Louis, fantastic. Yeah, everyone was really good in their roles. It was a good film. Like I said, the only bit that really kind of put me off was the shaky cam for some of the action scenes. I don't think it would look so bad on a smaller screen. I think on a large screen it just really kind of showed up and was the negative side of it. Apart from that, it was a very decent film. Like I said, don't be disappointed. This is not a whole movie. You will get to a to be continued. There is also a mid-credit scene, very short, and it's only about part way through the credits, so you may as well stick around and wait for that. And yeah, the second movie is due out, I've been told, in December. Definitely going to go and watch it. It was really good. It's only just come out this weekend. It's very new, so I kind of was a little bit disappointed. There was less than 10 of us in the cinema. I get that I went on a Friday at 5:30, which is maybe not the most busiest time for a cinema. But yeah, I don't want people to be put off. So, you know it's in French, and I know there are some people out there who go, well, I'll go to the cinema, I don't want to be reading. Honestly, guys, please give it a go, because you are missing out on some great movies if you don't go to watch foreign cinema. The French cinema scene has been fantastic for years, and you're also missing out on some great Asian films from China and Japan and Korea and stuff like that. So yeah, if you're someone who's a bit like, I would say start with this one, give this one a go. And yeah, it's a nice, just entertaining film. And it's probably like a nice familiar story. If I said, like me, you are that age where you can remember D'Artagnan and the Three Muskehounds, which I now have the theme tune running in my head. So I think that's a good time to stop talking. I'm going to enjoy my hot chocolate with my, do you like that? My Iron Man mug? Oh, I love it. Yeah, so enjoy the rest of your evening. Oh, didn't give it a score. That was really silly. So if I was going to give it a score out of 10, I'd say about 7. Yeah, entertaining enough movie. Looks great. Like I said, a couple of scenes that might put you off, but thoroughly entertaining movie, I think. So 7 out of 10 for that one. Right, hot chocolate's getting cold. I need to go and get changed for bed. It's late for me. And I'll see you all for another review soon.